Welcome to GKey Solutions Private Limited.
SQL Server Database, Real-Time Interview Questions and Answers.
Question number 46. The difference between concatenation operator and concat function in SQL Server Database. In this session, we are going to discuss about the difference between concatenation operator and concat function in SQL Server Database. Both concatenation operator and concatenation function are used to combine strings in SQL Server, but they behave differently in some key areas, especially with null values. Let's look at different features between concatenation operator and concat function. Coming to the syntax of operator, string 1 plus string 2, it will just combine two strings, whereas coming to the concat function, concatenates string 1, string 2 in such a way you can use many number of strings. Whereas coming to the null handles, concatenate operator, that is return nulls if any operand is null. Useless, you use isNull function or coalesce. Coming to the concat function, treat nulls as an empty string. Coming to the next feature, like number of argument, usually used for two expressions at a time, but can chain with different places. That means we can use string 1 plus string 2 in the first, and that one we can concat with other strings. And coming to the concat function, it accepts multiple arguments directly. Coming to the data type conversion, may cause a data type precedence issue, must manually convert sometimes, whereas coming to the concat function, implicitly converts non-string value into a string value. Coming to the readability of concatenation operator, it is less clear when concatenating many columns, whereas coming to the concat function, it is clearer for concatenating many columns. Coming to the different examples for concatenation operator and concatenate function. First we will see using plus for concatenation. Here we have a query, select employee ID, first name and last name. We are concatenate in this way from employees. Note, if any column is null, the whole result becomes null. Fixing nulls with concatenate operator using isNull. There is a query, select employee ID, isNull first name plus and isNull last name as full name from employees. We have to use isNull function to handle nulls in concatenation operator. And coming to using the concat function, here we have a query, select employee ID, concat first name and last name as full name from employees. We have a note here, concat function automatically treats nulls as an empty string, no need for isNull function. But if you have any nulls, while using the concatenate operator, we have to use isNull function to handle the nulls. And coming to the third point, mixing data types. For example, if you have different data types, let's see this thing with a concatenate operator. There is a query, select employee ID, employee ID plus employee ID. This will throw an error from employees. Operand type clash. Int is incompatible with var. Why? Because here employee ID is an int data type, whereas we are concatenating with a string employee ID. Here we will be having a clash, int is incompatible with var. This kind of an error we are going to get while using this query. And coming to the concatenate function, using in the same way, select employee ID, concat employee ID semicolon employee ID as employee details from employees. It works perfectly here. Implicitly, the conversion from int to var happens by using concat function. Coming to the summary, and then we have to use concatenate operator and concatenate function. If you have a scenario called concatenate strings with the possible nulls, then we can use concat function. It is recommended here. If you want to concatenate many columns easily, we can use concatenate function. instead of concatenate operator. And if there is a scenario need to control over null handling manually, here we can use concatenate operator with isNull function. If you want to mixing numbers and strings, concatenate function, it avoids conversion errors. These are the different recommendations that we have for concatenate function and concatenation operator. Here plus is treated as concatenation operator. Let's see these things practically in SSMS. We are in SSMS, that is called SQL Server Management Studio, and we are a demo at GKey database. And here we are going to create a table called employees with employee ID, first name, last name and department, and we are inserting this data here. Now see, 3 rows got inserted into the table. Let's see the first example here. Here using concatenate or concatenation operator for concatenation. Here we have a query, select employee ID, first name plus, and we are giving a space here, and we are adding it to the last name by using concatenation operator plus as full name from employees. Let's execute this one. Now it got added. Coming to the second column, let's check this column. Here we are having first name John and second name null. If you treat anything with null, the value will be null. In this way, for executing this query with concatenation operator, we are going to get null even though we have some value for the first name. Let's check the next example. Fixing nulls with using isNull function. In the similar way, we have a query, select employee ID isNull first name plus, we are giving a space, and plus again we are using concatenation operator isNull last name. Here we are handling the null values. That means we are replacing null values with a blank here, and let's execute this way. See, now the John has come here. Why? Because we have handled the data here. Why? Because we have handled at replace null value with blank value. That's why we have displayed the first value, even though we are not having the second name for this row, that is Jane, null, HR and employee ID 2. In this way, by using concatenation operator, we can handle nulls by using isNull function. Coming to the concat function, we have a query, employee ID concat first name, and we are giving a space and concating with last name. Let's execute this one. Here in this scenario, even though in the data you are having a null value, it is treating the nulls here and it is taking the first name. In this way, no need of using isNull function for the concat function. See, concat automatically treats nulls as an empty string and no need for isNull function here. And coming to the next, mixing data types. For example, if you have different data types to get a single value, for example, select employee ID. Here it is having int data type, and we are hard coding this value and want to have concat with employee ID. This will throw an error by using concatenation operator. Let's execute this one. Why? Because conversion failed when converting the varchar value employee ID to data type integer. Here two types of data combining with a concatenation operator is not possible. It is going to give the operand type clash error. We can handle this thing by using concat function. Let's see this query, select employee ID, concat employee ID and comma employee ID as employee details. Let's execute this query here. See, here we are getting the desired result that we want. Here we are combining varchar, that is employee ID, with employee ID, that is integer data type. Here two data types are combined and created as employee details column, and it has given the data. In this way, there are slight differences between concatenation operator and concatenate function in SQL Server database. Based on the requirement, we can go for both of these functionalities in SQL Server database. Thank you.
Stay connected with GKey IT solutions on all your favorite platforms. Follow us on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to stay updated with all our latest content. Join the GKey community and grow your IT career with us.